Hey, Steve Zelladarter with Remax Treviso Norris Realty. Good morning. Happy Monday. Just a real quick update on the market as we're entering July. Could you imagine we're at the end of June going into July already? It's insane. Everything is flying. Inventory, we're up. Clearly, we're up only about 400 units since last week, so we're at 33,199 units. So 400 units up since last week at a 32.8. And sales are pretty damn good. So we had 898 sales in the last 7 days, which is kind of great. If we didn't have so much inventory, it'd be a fantastic market. I just want to highlight a little bit of what 33,200 units really means, because a lot of people ask me, why is that so important, Steve? It's look, when we go on an appointment with clients, they always ask, like, one of the questions is, how long is it going to take when we sell our house? With these numbers, I can predict on that. I can predict a closing date based on price. Clearly, price is a huge issue always. But I mean, ultimately, we can kind of predict, a sale time with that. So in the past, an 18,000 unit market was a bad market. If you had 18,000 units on the market, it was bad. So when we would go into a listing presentation, I would advise our sellers that it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks to get a home sold when we have 18,000 units. So think about just the magnitude of what we are currently right now. We're at 33,000 units. So we're double the inventory of a normal bad market. Let's just say that. So that's the contrast. That's what you'd be looking at. So this is historic highs of inventory, but on the positive end on this, we had 898 sales. So things are selling as long as they're priced accurately and if they're a hot product. If you got a hot product at the right price, you're going to sell it, because there's still people making moves. We did a few deals over the weekend as well with buyers and sellers. So we're still moving products, but again, we're being realistic with clients. We're telling them, on presentations, we're not lying to them and giving these absurd prices, because I talk with Mike daily when he's going on the appointments, is we got to just give it to him the way it is, because we're not going to. We have one instance that everyone tries to, I guess, judge the realtor because it's looking for the commission grab. It's not. We don't want to be on the market forever, and we get paid when the property does sell, clearly. But ultimately, if the fundamentals show that the price is where they're at and that's where they're going to be selling at, and this is your competition, we know where to put this house to get it sold. So when we're advising clients to get it sold price at, and then we get pushed back and you want to get at a higher price, it's going to prolong the time. And the more time on the market in a market like today, I don't know if it's weird, because a lot of people I speak to are not really paying attention to the economy. We're currently in Canada right now, not knowing how desperate it is and how it's going to be. It's basically a great analogy is it's a plane with no wings right now, and it's coming to the ground. So, but we're still having an opportunity to sell. And this is what it is. We advise clients when we're going in, realistic, where the sale price is going to be, where you're going to sell, and the time frame where it's going to be. Because we had a call last week, and client, it's a beautiful area. Like, these are one of those amazing listings that everybody wants to carry because it's a great area. It's got a lot to offer. It's one of those luxury properties. But at the same time, if you can't get it sold, then what are we doing? We're going to be carrying dead weight in inventory, and then trying to basically calm down the seller why it's not selling, and then it's not our fault because we suggested a price. But with this current situation, they're literally $400,000 to $500,000 below where they think that the house was worth. And then you kind of go through the economy and talk about everything that's happening. Just remember, last month we lost 89,000 jobs. 89,000 jobs. If you don't think that's bad, you gotta read about economics. You gotta go to the canary in the mine shaft theory. You lost 15,000 more. 15,000 construction jobs. I don't know what it was, 35,000 manufacturing, whatever it was, and then ultimately, and then also warehousing. These are the big three. So you're losing 89,000 jobs. It's a huge, huge dent on the economy, clearly. And again, these are high-paying employees that may or may not find a new job. Because if you're in manufacturing, they're taking manufacturing away. Where do you go to manufacture anything? If you're in construction and there's no more building, because we know all the unions are packed with licensed workers that are not going back on the field because there's no work, what are they doing? There's a lot of bankruptcies and delinquencies going on with big builders and construction sites and stuff like that are not talked about right now, because obviously the banks want to hold and make sure that nothing's kind of exposed, because the more exposure gives them it gives them less time to do what they got to do. Because remember, right now, if you've seen a lot of things getting sold just behind closed doors, it's because they're already ramping up for the future of devaluation. So it's kind of scary in that sense. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to keep it going with our clients here. We're actually setting up a webinar July 8th at 7 p.m. and it's called Thrive or Strive, or I always forget the name of our bloody podcast. What is it, Trent? Survive or Thrive webinar. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 4 panelists on. Again, we did one last month. It's going to be myself and Mike Gaddy for the real estate side of it. We're going to have a mortgage broker on as well, answer all your questions regarding refinance. If you want to get out of a mortgage early, what's the penalty percentage points, like all the necessary stuff you need to do instead of you calling the bank. And then ultimately we're going to have someone on the back end of this regarding budgeting. We're so, it's crazy that we earn money, then we don't have a budget for it. I'm guilty of this as well. But I remember back in like 2012, 2013, we ran up, line of credits, getting the business started and everything. And I had enough of it. I want to be able to control it. So we hired a financial coach. And it seems counterintuitive that you have to pay more money when you're already spending so much money to get good advice. But it always ends up, positive at the end. And what was amazing with the financial coach was the budgeting portion of it, because when we get a paycheck, you put it all in a savings account. Obviously, we're in commission, so it goes through like multiple accounts, but typically it goes into a savings account and you leave it there. What we were taught is when the check comes in, it gets cut into 5 or 6 chops. Basically, you're going to put you build up another account called an allocation account. An allocation account, for example, was basically you would take money out of every paycheck and you would stick it in there for future, the fees that are going to be coming out in a year from now. So that would be insurance payment on vehicles and houses. Property taxes. So let's say it's $10,000, or say it's $12,000 for easy math. You subtract $1,000 per paycheck and you would stick it in this account. And at the end of the year, you wouldn't touch it. Clearly, it's like a trust account, and then you would write a check to the insurance company and the obviously tax collector at the end of the year, and away you went. And that's what was so great about it, because we were organized. So the money that we were used to spend, it always looks very small, which it always is. But the problem is when you bunch a big lump sum in one account, then it looks like you can keep spending forever. But realistically, it's only a drip that you can spend out of whatever you're earning. And when you organize it like that, you're going to be in a better situation in no time. Within a weird 6 months to a year, you feel so confident on everything's going. So that's going to be one of the 4th panelists, kind of go into budgeting for our clients. And again, this is a free webinars. We're hosting these. Clearly, I think in today's market, we need to be together, building each other up, spreading positive thoughts, get through this together. It sounds very kumbaya-ish, but I mean, ultimately, this is how we always get through things. We always create masterminds. This is a great mastermind. We can talk out loud. We can advise clients going forward. Everyone's going to be helped. And again, we're like 20 attendees as of now, which is great. And hopefully we can get this to 40, 50, and we can keep growing it as long as we do a good job in providing you good information. I'm sure you'll come. But have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.